Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you have all been waiting for. The money, the moolah, the cake, the Gucci, the Fendi. As of late, people have two thoughts associated with esports in general. The first being Mountain Dew, the second being Doritos, the third being sponsorship. I guess that's three thoughts. Don't believe me? Let's just list a few of our homies involved in esports and see what they're all about. First, let's start with Rick Fox, who used to be a player on the Lakers during the Kobe era. How about let's just throw J-Lo into the mix? How about that? Maybe even some Marshawn Lynch, or sprinkle a little Shaquille O'Neal. All of them have more than $15 million in a team. The 76ers and the Miami Heat also own quite the stake in their own respective teams. And you know what? Sure, let's just throw in Steve Aoki. Why not? Yeah, he owns his own team. He gets a team. You know who else gets a team? Jeremy Lin gets a team. And so does Magic Johnson. He also gets a team. The list goes on, folks. But let's get into some League of Legends specific examples and all the teams associated with the leagues. Team sponsorship doesn't mean that the company has a stake or deeply rooted role in managing a team. It just means here, have some money, slap your logo on a computer, maybe your face. Sponsors are trying their darndest to reach a demographic that has up until now seemed impossible to reach. This dark and gray area of 18 to 30, where individuals are so offended by commercials and integrated content sponsorship. By the way, this is the perfect moment to mention that today's episode of Esports 101 has been brought to you by... I'm just joking. I'm just joking. There are so many instances of interesting activations, whether accidental or purposeful, they have hit their mark. Let's take a look at some quick examples. For starters, Team Liquid's owner, Liquid112, answering his phone during an interview. Or how about T-Mobile's activation with two-star athletes in C9 Sneaky and TSM Bjergsen? Or how about Gillette's personable package for Team Solo Mid? And dare I say, those razors are looking sharp. There's no shortage of involvement from brands as they activate strategically. And there's also an interesting list of sponsors that teams work alongside. League of Legends teams in particular have involvement from here on the side. We've got Red Bull, T-Mobile, Brisk. Really, the list goes on and on and on. Team investment is a whole nother ball game, however. Has nothing to do with activating a brand within a team, but rather a stake is given up or the ownership of the organization. Some bigwig has a lot of money, wants money back later, gives a team money, says, enjoy kids, go play. Like a barbecuing dad at a backyard kickback, these bigwigs just provide what is essential for their kids to have a swell time. This is where investment gets super spicy. The type of people involved are strange, and you generally only hear about these individuals in BuzzFeedy articles saying, wow, Mark Wahlberg sponsors esports, woo! He doesn't actually. But let's list some of the people involved just to give you a little bit of a taste. For starters, we've got a team like Cloud9, has investors from Reddit and the WWE, as well as players like Joe Montana and Hunter Pence. COG has investment from Madison Square Garden. Echo Fox's primary stakeholder is a man we already talked about, Rick Fox. FlyQuest is owned by Wesley Edens, a co-owner of the Milwaukee Bucks. Clutch Gaming, also owned by a respective team, Houston Rockets. And last, but definitely not least, 100 Thieves, owned by the Cavaliers. There's obviously a huge involvement from NBA teams, and the structure that they provide these esports organizations is quite crucial. League of Legends is very similar in the sense that games are 5-on-5, there are star roles, there are supportive roles. Doesn't get better than that. As far as sponsorship is concerned, the broadcast space is the last alley we have yet to talk about. Kind of tough one with all these stray cats pawing at our feet, but let's dive right in. Riot has been very reluctant to get anyone involved because the community is so aggressive. If they see some branded content, they just scream, sellout. Recently, however, they have had a change of heart, which also happens to be my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card. For starters, MLB and Disney both own streaming rights to League of Legends. Yes, baseball and a poorly drawn mouse own the ability to stream League of Legends. Crazy world we live in. Next, we've got branded content. This past World Championship, we saw segments like the Acer Predator replay and T-Mobile's Best of the Rift. This is the type of thing that the community tends to stray away from. However, during the World Championships, it is all how the host handled it. And frankly, the host did a superb job of segueing. Littered throughout the world, they also had Coca-Cola World Championship viewing parties. If you and your friends wanted to watch League of Legends with a bunch of other like-minded individuals, you could do that in theaters across the globe. I think that's kind of neat. Like, imagine planning Super Bowl parties across the world that were sponsored by the Super Bowl, or in essence, organized by the league. This wasn't really a super long list of sponsors, but it is just a snapshot of what Riot tends to think about when they are dancing the fine line between cringe and sponsorship.